Alright, so today we're going to be installing this new 21mm carburetor from Style Pro Del Orto. And the way to do this, it's not that complicated, fairly easy. Depending on what you're going to do, we're going to be installing it on this Hyosung Prima right here, Racing 2007. Alright, so when you get the carburetor, it's going to look something like this. Alright, with all the pipes and connectors for it though, however. It's not that hard. The only hard part really is how you're going to do with the intake manifold. That's the hardest part. So right here we have the intake manifold. As you can see, I already worked on it. I already got it done. What I pretty much did is I cut off the connector that goes on the back of our old carburetors here, which is a new one here over here. But I cut it off that way, and also I put a groove in here. That what you can do is you can get a plug like this, well not a plug but like a connector made out of rubber. You can find that Canadian Tire or Rona, any like hardware store or whatever, where that just goes onto there, and then the other end, this end goes onto your carburetor. The reason I have a groove here is because if you can see in here into the thing, there's a groove right there, if you can see it on that side, and then also on that side there's a groove. So what that groove does is it perfectly fits onto this groove, and on the carburetor as well you get a nice groove also. So it goes onto that one and that one. Or another way, if you have you want to do it another way, is you can keep this part here, cut out the pipe, and get one of those like manifolds for the Biwis or Minarelli bases. And so you take this off and weld this base onto the Minarelli manifold, and then you can put any carburetor anytime you want. You don't have to worry about this connector here. I don't know, it's up to you, whatever you want to do it. But I did it this way, I don't know why. Just did. Anyways, so that's how you're gonna work with the manifold. And also what I did is I also took a Dremel and I Dremeled the inside here to make it all 21mm, because I have a 20mm carb. Now another thing you're gonna have to do is over here for the throttle cable. When you get it stock, it's gonna have a nice bend here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take off that bend, make it all straight, and then using one of these pipe cutters for small pipes, you like turn this knob here, it brings it closer. You're gonna cut away at the metal here until it's the proper length. What you can also do with the carburetor here is you have the screw, you turn it left or right, which adjusts the height of the lever inside to open to, or if you get a big opening or closing, whichever you like. Also the manual choke is right here. I have a skidoo thing because at the time I went didn't have a cable for scooters, so I bought this one. I had to do a bit of work to it, but other than that it works perfectly fine. Also, the gas line on these scooters is going to be way too short, the stock one, so what I did is I went to Canadian Tire also, bought some of this plastic tubing, put that from the fuel pump over there all the way into the carburetor over here. Also I used one of these spring clips because just for extra protection, make sure the gas doesn't leak out. And then also the good thing about these carburetors, it's easy to tune. You have your fuel right here, and then the small one there is your jet. So if you're running too rich or too lean, just adjust this, and there you go. Air goes there, air filter. That's pretty much it. Also for the fuel, yeah, but it's gonna be a little knob here. You just take your what's it called? You take your oil line, you just put it right there. If you don't have an oil line, you're doing premix, you don't need to have that. Or there's also another another oil over here. When you get it, there's gonna be a rubber gasket on, like rubber thing on it. Don't take it off unless you're gonna use it. And there's also the fuel over here. Don't want to take that off unless you're gonna use it. So that way it doesn't suck air in. So that's pretty much it for this. Recap it. Take your manifold, cut off the connector to a certain whatever distance you want. I did it so that my carburetor here doesn't touch the wheel, doesn't touch anything else. so everything's fine. Get one of these connectors out of rubber. Plastic's not that good because it might crack on you in the winter if you hit a like bump or something. I don't know. Up to you. Trim will groove into there. And that's pretty much it for this. Also, afterwards, you're gonna want to work with this, and then after that, it's just playing around with it and tuning, changing the jets, adjusting the air and the fuel. Also, these carburetors come with the C5, I believe 88 size jet, I'm not sure. And if you're running too lean, too rich, you can adjust it. Also the pilot, you're going to want to adjust the pilot needle if you're running too rich at top speed or too lean. You want to play with the pilot setting, there's 3 settings on it and it's in the inside. Just change the clip on that, make it higher or lower, and there you go. And so yeah, have fun with this project. It's not that hard, just very time consuming. And also for your old carburetor, you had these plugs. You don't need those anymore. They're for your auto choke. They're just for the CDAT and not when the engine's warmed up. If you want, you can cut them off. I left them be in case if I don't know I need to put my old carburetor back on or something. Other than that, everything is good. And you can also adjust your oil pump by turning the screws over here, adjusting those so that more oil goes in, less oil goes in, depending on how much you need. And that's pretty much it. Have fun, and see you guys later.